as we are closing and concluding, there's this, as Christians, we are taught to be kind. We are taught to be compassionate. We are taught to be loving to others. And sometimes when we are kind to people, we find that we are compromising. Let's say you've helped someone with money. Yes, this hits on the financial boundary. Someone has borrowed you money, and he explained to you and told you what he's going through, and you lent a hand to him and you gave him some money. Then the next time when such a thing happens, or something else, he calls you again to tell you, I'm going through this tough time, please help me with some money, I need some money, and maybe you have engagements with it. And when you stop, you tell him, I'll not be able to give you this money, he becomes, what is the word? He becomes just weird, and he's not even talking to you. It's like that was the fabric that was holding your friendship or your relationship. So how can we not, as in, live with our boundaries without compromising? Maybe even you can major on the financial one. Yes. Maybe I'll start from Mr. Victor.
Maybe I make a disclosure on the same. I was looking at the videos that you guys usually have, and I watched Teacher Jose when he said ali peana rent yake na akaoshwa. That made me reflect. The other day, a friend of mine was being arrested because of a debt that she had not paid. Na nikamkopea pesa na nikampatia. Hey, na tumesumbuana, it is like 4 months ago, lakini nimekuwa nikitumua 3K, natumua 5K. So that should tell us that even as professionals, though we understand these things, they are still the same things that happen to us. We are not immune. And as I stated, people are very weird, people are very interesting, because you support someone, because you have a clean heart and you know this person is really going to suffer if I don't bail them out. But they come and frustrate you and make you very cautious in even trying to help that other person. Now, to go to your question, yes, you'd want to support, but there is also that fear that now after supporting, what happens? Someone will take advantage of you. My feeling would be, and my thought, do due diligence on that person, especially in finances. But if it's a person that is known to have financial issues and lack of paying of debts, ama unampata akona fuliza mingi na alipangi yetu akona madeni, anatoka tu kwa hii deni moja anaruka kwa hii deni ingine, meaning probably this person is living beyond their means, the probability of refunding your money hapo utaanza kuassess. Ni kama vile banks usually do. They assess and see, huyu akai kulipa. And in the same line, after doing a background study, try and get security for your resource. Because if I am giving you like 10K, na mimi ninaona, Brenda wewe umenikopa 10K, na simu yako probably ni ya 15K. Hii pesa umeniambia itarudi within 5 days. So wewe wache tu nikae na simu, mimi nikupiga hii 10K. Ukirefund 10K yangu, mimi nakupea tu simu yako. Kwa sababu hata wewe unataka ku-insure pesa yako. Because as I clearly stated, we are selfish and my interest comes first. But I am sacrificing because I care about you. But what is the insurance? Because if you take my money na ukose kulipa, how do I get my money back? You know, your relationship itakuwa broken. So do background diligence before you help, especially with finances. Have security. And also maybe kama ni mtu you trust and this is a person who can be able to pay, have someone who can hold that person accountable. Maybe nikuje kwa Pasi, niambie Pasi, Brenda amenikopa 10k na ninaona ni kama amefinyika. Mimi sasa nakupea hii pesa, we patia Brenda. Sasa unajua pesa yangu mimi nitakuwa nimepea Pasi. Na cause Brenda ana respect Pasi sana. Sasa Pasi ndio atakuwa anadai pesa yangu cause maybe mimi tumezoeana. Unaona sasa maybe I'd say that.
Hey, thank you so much. Tuko naletea Pasi kwanza. Someone else, anybody?
Thank you very much, Victor, for that. I think you mentioned about kindness, that we are supposed to be kind. But to what extent should my kindness be? Yeah? Because if I lend you my finances, you know, when you are borrowing that money, it is not that I didn't have anything to do with the money. I was just kind enough, yeah, to give you that money. But one time you borrow me, and yet you don't refund. As Victor was saying, that we should assess what kind of a person am I lending this money. I've also been a victim over the same. So much money that I've given to somebody you trust. You know, you're giving a Christian, a person who is saved, and you know that they're going to refund. But eventually, wanapiga chenga, and they will never pay you. So, to me, do I expect that person still to come and be kind enough to give again? That is the question that we should ask ourselves. Because if they're not paying back, then I don't think that I'll be unkind not to assist them. That is what I would say, because we are human beings. I have needs, and even when I was lending you shortly, and you never refunded the money. Again, security. I think we can also secure those security. Okay, I will not say pasi apelekewe, because she will be having a lot of debts, yeah, to claim for people. I think we can have an assurance. Maybe we have an agreement, yeah, because if the agreement is there, it will be reminding that person, you have a copy, I also have a copy. So I don't expect this person to come and borrow, and yet they never honored the other agreement. So maybe that is what I would say. And love is kindness, but we are also told to live not like foolish people. We should be wise. Sawa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We should be wise. We should be wise. Back to you, Brenda.
Thank you so much. I'd love to ask the last question before we invite the audience. And I want to ask two questions in one. Most of us, we just finished school the other day, we joined campus. And the environment is very different. We are used to staying in boarding schools, we are used to staying with our parents, but now here we have freedom. We have new friends who are showing us new things that we never even thought they exist. So what are these boundaries that we should set when we go to certain or such setups, new setups? And then we also realize we are interacting with lecturers. These are not teachers, these are lecturers. And at times these lecturers are not able to maintain their space. They are infringing into our space. And they even come with threats. If you don't do this, you're going to have a receipt. And we also know this public university, you can only take a maximum of 3 receipts for a specific paper. So even if you choose to do a receipt, he's still the one to mark your paper next semester and the semester after. So how do you still maintain your boundaries in such a situation? And this lecturer is on your case. And then another concern that this question I would love Rev to answer it. At times we have challenges and we come to our religious leaders or probably we go to our mitaa leaders or our departmental leaders But these people are trying to take advantage of us. These are the people we run to as young people. These are the people we expect to get counsel from. But they're still trying to take advantage of us. We go for counseling the first day in probably their office or their department. But now the next time they want to meet us outside the church. So how do we handle such situations? We start with Rev.
This is the most difficult question. I want to start with the students when the lecturer does not honor their boundary. In every institution, we always have the office of the dean of the students, and I think most of the time it is underutilized, because we look at the dean's office, like the dean of students' office, like when we want the cultural nights, we want to go out, we want to do this. But I want to believe that if a lecturer is pushing you too much, and you go to the deans of the students to share, the administration will take an action in a very appropriate way that will not hurt you, because that is why some of the offices are there. Unless the dean's office is also different, but I know that most of the time the student dean is checked, is under-checked, and her character is acceptable and appropriate by many, or accepted by many, so that he can see or she can stand in that office. So when you are in a school and you are facing challenges with somebody who wants sex for marks, kindly go to the dean of students' office and let it be known. I believe it will be sorted. In other schools, they have the chaplain, the chaplaincy department. You can go and see the chaplain, and you can ask. But even all these things do not work, in every institution, the offices are always open. Imagine you can walk to the office of the VC and tell him, this is what I am going through, and I believe your case can be sorted out. It is only that the perceived freedom that we have in the university, in secondary school and primary school, we are so much into the offices. Unashtaki na munashtakiwa. It is always the thing that but when you go to university, you now believe that you are so big, you don't need to go to the offices. But when you get your problem tackled, you can go to the VC, but start with the dean of the students or any other lecturer whom you are close to. Then you can tell them, this is what we are experiencing, these are my facts, and I believe it is. Then they can handle the situation at their level. If you come to church and you go to tar leader, and is going overboard. Karibu niseme si umlete kwangu. But what I want to tell you is always trust your guts. Always trust your stomach. If you feel something is not right, wechomoka toka. Always trust. If you are you come to my office, and then you look at the way I am treating you, and you feel like something is wrong, usianze kusema pazia na okokanga sana. Apana, chomoka. Just be sensitive to the red signs, because sometimes we believe that people are so much born again, and yet they are fallen. Even angels are called fallen. They are fallen angels. So don't be so much into the world that people are so much born again. Don't be intimidated the way I preach, the way I speak, the way I sing. But when you when your gut tells you that something is wrong, then you need to move out. Even if it is counseling, I don't believe that I can be counseling you and you are very uncomfortable with my moves, and then you want to believe that I will still help you. You won't concentrate, because you'll be looking at me and say, now what is she going to do next? But if you see the red signs, somebody coming too closer when you are not supposed to be close, or somebody asking you irrelevant questions which are not applying, I think the best thing, as counselors will always tell you, counseling is voluntary. You come and then we share. But if you don't come, I won't force you. Why didn't you come? And if I start forcing you, then it is like I have some little interest. Take care of the red flags. trust your guts. If something is not wrong, don't always say that I'm always oversensitive. No, they are there as a warning. Just find your way, pull your way out, and then you'll get help.
Thank you so much. Madam Alice, kindly.
To add on what Reverend has said, I think to a new environment, just learn the environment first. And after learning the environment, then you'll be able to know how people behave in that environment. And when it comes to now the particular issue of a lecturer, because as a young person you've set your boundaries, when the lecturer crosses your boundary, you begin with him first and let him know your boundaries. But if he insists, we have talked of being consistent in your boundaries. Be consistent in your boundaries and move a step higher. Let me give an example. When I was in college those years, there's a lady who was failed several times. We completed college and we left her behind. A college that was to take 3.5 years, she took 5 years. But then it reached a time she decided, no, you're not going again to mark my paper. But not in a rude way. She went to the admin and requested her paper to be marked by somebody different, even from another college. And actually it was obeyed. So her paper was marked by 2 different people at a separate college, and it came back to the same college, it was remarked, and she passed. And she had researched that paper several times. She stood her boundaries. She stood by her boundaries and said, I'm not going to give in, but I will stand by it, whatever it takes, because Victor said it has a cost. Maintaining your boundaries has a cost. So be ready for that cost and do not give in to your boundaries. Can you imagine giving in? What will happen to you? Your self-esteem will go down, your conscience will disturb you, and all the fears and all those things will go in your mind and even destroy your life. If you are a true Christian and believe, you're not supposed to give in to any of the sexual or whichever kind of boundaries that person wants you to break. So you better maintain your self-esteem, maintain your value, maintain what is acceptable in the society, but let the lecturer be and move ahead to the right direction, seeking for help from senior management, I would say so.
Madam Grace.
Thank you for sharing that. I think we have our own personal goals even as we join the university. Madam Alice has said that we should learn the environment, and even as we are learning the environment, we should ask ourselves, where am I? Even as undermining her and making her, frustrating her in all sorts of ways because she did not give in. So there's always a way out. Let us learn the environment. Let us understand ourselves. Let us ask ourselves, what can I do in case of something like this? So, and even as we are learning the environment, we should ask ourselves, where am I? Even as I enter into this university. Remember, there are various people who will be coming from all sorts of life, and even they might make you enter into their boundaries unconsciously. But if you have set your boundaries right, you will stand with your boundaries. After learning the environment, then you reset other boundaries in relation to the new environment. Like they have said, there's always an office that cares for the students' need. The Dean of Students office, whereby it cares for you. And because of that fear, sometimes what will the lecturer say, what will happen, sometimes we fear and maybe we don't even want to step into that office. I know of a lady also. She was doing her master's, and there was this lecturer who was on her neck throughout in another university that I was not in. And she decided to go to the Dean of Student. The Dean of Student was also not very helpful. So she decided to go to the VC. And when she went there, she was allowed to graduate because it was only one unit that this person or this lecturer was really undermining her and making her, frustrating her in all sorts of ways because she did not give in. So there's always a way out. Let us learn the environment. Let us understand ourselves. Let us ask ourselves, what can I do in case of something like this? So I am delighted to know that we are now knowing that we cannot just allow people to step into our boundaries if we have set ours right. And for the case of wachungaji and those people, the spiritual, they are human beings, yeah? Sometimes we look at them like they cannot fall into temptations. But if you see that signal of maybe this thing is not going in the right way, you can always take a walk. In counseling, we say that you are always the one who is in a need. So if you see that need is not being met, then you have a right to take a walk and then maybe source for help somewhere. Na ukiambiwa you meet outside, why should you meet outside? Outside the lecturer's office or outside the spiritual or principal, whoever is in charge, you know, you meet in town. Why should you meet there and yet you are a student or you are in charge? So ask yourself that question before you make a decision. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oso.
I get that we are also appreciating. You'd asked that in reference to also the young people who are feeling that they are being pushed by the lecturers, but we are also appreciating that there are senior students, people doing their masters and their PhD who are also being frustrated. And for me, I know of a person so close to me who took 10 years to complete their masters just because they were being frustrated by a lecturer. But when they went and reported to the chair of department, within a year they had graduated. So going back to your, it is now an encouragement to the young people. Seek help. Go for help. Don't suffer alone. You're a new student, you are reporting. Have an objective, a vision, and make plans towards where you want to go. Now, every time to guide you, and the boundaries that you set in reference to your studies and your interaction are what are going to guide you in achieving whatever objective that you'll have and the vision that you'll have after the end of the 4 years. If you are new and appreciating that you are a Christian, I've always known that people in the Christian Union are usually very, very supportive, especially for the new tax in school. And that is why maybe I appreciate in high school, you are attached to someone who's been there, maybe your mother or your father, to guide you, to support you. I believe in college and in universities, you can always get these people in the CU. They will show you around before you get comfortable. Another thing that when a lecturer pushes you or someone pushes you, the female lecturers are usually very, very helpful. They really tend to help. You can have one who will walk with you if you feel you don't have the guts, and very supportive, especially for the new tax in school. And that is why maybe I appreciate in high school, you are attached to someone who's been there, maybe your mother or your father, to guide you, to support you. I believe in college and in universities, you can always get these people in the CU. They will show you around before you get comfortable. Another thing that when a lecturer pushes you or someone pushes you, the female lecturers are usually very, very helpful. They really tend to help. You can have one who will walk with you if you feel you don't have the guts. And if possible, when these people are engaging you, I'd suggest you prefer engaging them through text rather than WhatsApp and a call. You know, most of the time I've seen when I was doing my internship there at the Department of Gender-Based Violence, we used to have a lot of challenge when it came to presenting the evidence, because sadly, some of the people who are abusing us or manipulating us sexually are people that are very trusted. So when you go and say that this person has been making advances on me, you are looked at with so many questions. People don't believe you. And you know, when everyone you talk to starts doubting you, you also start doubting yourself. You know, na unasema kama kila mtu anasema ama alikuwa tu ananiambia na roho mzuri, ama alikuwa tu, you know. So I'd suggest text, because unajua kwa WhatsApp siku hizi niliona kuna pia kudelete. But unajua text ikishaenda imeenda, hiyo ni evidence. Then you can have someone to work with you. As Rev said, go to the Dean's department, you can go to the registrar, you can go to the security department, and I believe that you're going to be helped. Na hata kama ni ngumu, the gender offices within the counties that can also be very supportive and helpful. Hata unaweza kuja uambie pastor naekea pastors mambo mingi. But anyway, thank you.
Thank you so much. At this point, I'll invite our audience. If you have any concerns or any questions to our very able panel, whether on coping with COVID as a youth or keeping boundaries as a young person.
I'm Solomon Otieno from this place, and I'm very happy for our facilitators. Good work they have injected in us. Now, my question goes to them. You say that when we have issues to do with some trauma, we share out. But sharing out of my knowledge is not to everyone, because it will be going out as rumors, it will be going out as a gossip, and it will be more traumatizing, and mental torture will explode. Please, can you clarify on that line?
Madam Grace, I'll ask you to take that question.
Thank you very much, Solo, for wanting to be clarified on how issues of sharing. We said when we are traumatized, it is important you share it out. But even as we were saying you share it out, we came first to ask, how do I even know that I am traumatized? We came all the way and we said, having known that you are traumatized, it is good to talk to a professional counselor. You seek for therapy so that this therapist will help you to deal with the issue that is traumatizing you. Not just anybody, but before then, there's that aspect of maybe sharing with the other person so that they can assess. And we said a change in behavior means that you're traumatized. It doesn't matter what, but end point is that you share with a professional counselor. I don't know whether I've answered.
Thank you.